Hi there, in this video I'll be showing you how you can send a signed document for signature to a contact of yours, and then once they complete that document, it is automatically attached to the CRM contact record. So we'll be doing this using the Zoho Sign extension within the CRM, and we'll also be using a Zoho Flow along with a few lines of Deluge code. Okay, so in order to get started, let's download the extension. So just go to your CRM settings, go to Marketplace and then Zoho. And then at the bottom you'll see Zoho Sign, and then just click Setup Now. Agree, continue, and then choose if you want to install for everyone or just admins. We'll just do admins for now. And we'll just wait for it to finish installing. Okay, that's successful. So now what we want to do is send documents for signature using the Sign extension. So we can do that by going into your contacts, and we'll use a test contact here. And if you see, there's a button here called Send with Zoho Sign. So we're using this button. Button allows us to send any signed document we want, and it will associate the contact record with that signed document. So later on, you'll see that when the document is completed, we'll have a contact record associated with that document, and that'll make it easier for us to attach that document to the contact record. So let's just click on this button, and you'll see a pop-up here, and it'll ask you which document you want to send. We have a signed template, so we'll use that, and it's called test. And here you're seeing we're gonna send it to our contact record here, and let's click next. You can customize anything here just like you would in Sign, and you can see it's a simple document. We just ask for the org name and signature, and then click send and confirm, and then we can close this. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is create a flow to capture that document when it's completed, and then attach it to the linked contact. So let's go to our Flow app. Right here, okay. And let's create a new flow, and we'll give it a name. And click create. Now after it's created, we're going to choose the app option, and we're going to choose our Zoho Sign. So let's search for it here. Zoho Sign, here it is. And then we'll do when a document is fully completed. Click next. And here, if you have a connection set up already, you won't need to do this. If you don't, then just go ahead and create a connection, and you can name it Zoho Sign Connection. And go ahead and choose all triggers and then authorize. This will open another tab. Just click accept, and here you go. So when a document is completed, click done, and now we've created our flow. Now what we want to do is go into the logics tab here, and we want to create our own custom function. So expand this and then click create here, and we'll name it attach sign doc to contact. Okay, and for input parameters, we're going to type in request ID, and this will be the identifier for that document. And we'll click string data type. Now click create. Now let's save it as it is, and then close this. And what you want to do is click and drag this custom function and attach it to this block here. So upon doing that, it'll ask you, well, what do you want to put for request ID? And we're getting the request ID from when the document is completed. And you can just search here, request. Here it is, request ID. So what's happening is when the flow is triggered, meaning when the document is completed, it'll send the request ID as the variable into this function. And then we're going to set up the function to use that request ID. So let's save this. Okay, so now we've set it up that way. Let's go back into our custom function and then click on the edit icon. Okay, now within these two brackets, we want to write our lines of Deluge code. So there's 3 steps to this. The first thing we want to do is use the request ID to fetch details about the document, because the details will contain the contact ID. Then we want to use the request ID to download the document, and then attach it to the contact record that we will find using contact ID. So let's get the contact ID first. So what you want to do is maybe create a variable called get document information and have it equal to Zoho dot sign dot, and we're going to choose get document by ID, and we're going to pass the request ID into here. Okay, so what this line is saying is that you get using the request ID, we're going to get the document, and we're going to view that details by typing info and then type in the variable you just did or created. Right, just like that. So now by saying info get doc info, we're basically looking at all of the data within this variable here, and that's where we will find our contact ID. So let's save this and then execute, and it'll ask you for a test or a request ID to test this with. So we can get that by going into our sign up, and let's go into all documents, and let's go into the document we just sent, the test one, and the request ID will be in the parameters or in the URL. So we'll just copy it just like that. And then if you go into the info tab here, you can see this is all of the details about that document. And then if you will scroll down to custom data, you can see it says source CRM module and then record. And if you notice that this is the record ID of the contact ID here, see at the top, 467201, 467201. So what we want to do is retrieve the custom data so we can retrieve the contact ID and then use that to attach the file. So right now we're trying to get custom data, and the custom data is inside the request variable. So what we're going to do is say something like contact ID equals, and then we take this variable, paste it, and now we're going to say get requests. So we're getting all the data inside requests, but what we actually want is the custom source or custom data. So we're going to type dot get custom data, and now let's do another info for contact ID, and let's see what we're working with now. So we're going to do execute. I'll use the ID again for testing. If you scroll down, you can see now our contact ID contains this. So this is a string. What we really want is the ID, and the ID is equal to record. So what we want to do is convert this string into what we call a map, and that's what contains all of these values, and then we will do dot get record on that map. So we're going to do dot to map, so that'll convert the string into a map, and then we can do dot get record. So now if we do another test, this will now give us the record ID for the contact. Okay, so let's scroll all the way down, and there you have it. Now instead of the long string, we have the record ID, and that's what we need. The next step, so let's comment this out. Now that we know we have the contact ID, the next step is to download the file. So we can say download document is equal to Zoho, and this time we're going to select sign, and then we're going to say download document, and again we just pass the request ID just like that, and then we're going to say upload document or attach, and this time we're going to make it equal to Zoho .crm because we're attaching it to the CRM record, and then we're going to say .attach file, and now it's asking us for 3 pieces of information. First, a module, so we want it to be the contacts module. Then it's asking us for the number, and this is the contact ID, so we're telling it attach the file to a contact in the contacts module, and this is the ID. So we'll paste contact ID and paste it here, and then it's asking which file, and that's the file we just downloaded. So we'll copy the download doc and paste it here. Okay, so now we can test this by using the request ID, and we should see test attached to the contact. Now let's go to our contact record and refresh. And as you can see, our attachments now has the test PDF attached. But of course we want to attach it when this sign is finished completing. So we're going to delete this for now. Go back to our flow. We know the function works, so we're going to save it, close, and now we turn on our workflow. So upon turning it on, whenever the document is completed, it'll send the request ID to this function. And as we just set up, we know that using the request ID, we'll find the contact ID of that record that it was sent from using the Zoho Sign extension. We'll download the document and then upload that document to the contact ID record. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the document from my end. And it'll just take a quick second. Okay. So now we can open the history tab here and it'll show us a completed flow, just like that right now. So you can see the document is completed. And then if you go into our contact ID, you can see it is now attached again at the new time. And then you can now view it. There we go. Alright, so in conclusion, by installing the Zoho Sign extension, we can send documents for signature for contacts using the Send with Zoho Sign button. Using this button allows us to associate the sent document with the contact, and then setting up a flow like this, it allows us to upload that document back to the contact into the attachments. So that's an easy way to manage all of your signed documents. So instead of going into Sign itself and then scrolling through all of your documents here, trying to find the email or the contact that it was sent to, you can just go into the contacts record and then go into attachments and you'll see all the signed documents here. Let me know if you have any questions about that or concerns. Let us know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and thank you.